Good morning everyone. Today I'm doing another mold, and this time I would like to make it out of ceramic resin. So I have found this lying around the house and I really love it. It's got this gorgeous fleur little motif, sort of like a wreath, and it's quite thick and chunky, so I can make both candles and ceramic resin for my room diffusers. So I have found a biscuit cutter that's the right diameter. I am just going to place it on here, and I am just going to, today I'm not going to use any glue. I'm going to be a little lazy and I'm going to use some of this plasticine, or you can use Fimo, anything that's pliable. And to make the mold, I am going to just create a nice flat disc out of this modeling paste, Fimo, anything like that, to the right diameter of that. I'm going to use the bottle of silicone just as a roller. Why not? It's in front of me. And you want it as flat as possible, so you want it to be level. That looks like it will be good. It's just very lightly, I'm not going all the way through, I'm going to press it down, and that will seal the edges. I'm going to go around and make sure everything is sealed in, and then obviously I won't be able to move this from the table, but it doesn't matter because that is the last project of today. So that's all sealed in. I'm going to take my little shape that I want to replicate. I'm going to place it in the middle, and equally I'm going to dig this in, and that way it will seal itself up along the edges and nothing will go underneath. Then I'm going to make up some silicone rubber. I'm using the same as the last video, Let's Resin silicone rubber. It's a 2-part, measured by weight. I have calculated this and I will need about 150, so I'm going to do 75 of each. Start with part A. Gloves on. So 75 of part A. And again, this is measured by weight and not volume. There we go, 75 of part A. Then just zero it out, and 75 of part B. If you've got one less, one more, that's okay. And I am going to stir for a few minutes. Again, the correct way to stir this is a bit like resin. Make sure you scrape the sides and the bottom, and then you can mix. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Scrape down a couple of times, and then you've got a good mix. And I particularly like this rubber because it's quite pliable, so it will be easy to spread apart when I need to take out my castings. And once you've finished mixing, I'm just going to pour from a height just to release any bubbles as it comes down. I'm going to pour on the top of that and then around the sides. If there's any bubbles there, I'll just catch them. And I'm just going to make sure that it's gone all the way around. And carry on. And I do want quite a thick base on this. I find they're better if you've got the base, so I'm just going to pour in as much as I have in this cup. So I've probably made a bit too much, but better to make too much than not enough. The actual calculation was 130 milliliters or grams of rubber, but I decided just to err on the side of caution, just to round it up to 150. Okay, And then this just needs to stay like this until it's completely hardened, and that will take a couple of hours if it's a hot day. If it's a cold day, just leave it overnight. Right, here we are, unmolding time. This has dried overnight, and I'm just going to pick that off, and you can see instantly that there's no leaks whatsoever, and I've got a nice round edge. And so that worked really well with this putty. Love it. Okay, now this is actually the hard part, is getting the suction out of this so that it comes out. So could use a bit of water, a bit of elbow grease. I'm just going to go around and take the sides off, and hopefully this will come out. So obviously this side is larger than that, so I will have to come out that way. So normally if I just push all the way around and then push it through, it should come out. There, it's already starting to come out. Just keep doing the same on all the sides. There we go, that's released there. And push down. We're getting there. You know what they say about patience? Not generally one to have a lot of it, but for this, I always find it. And here we are. It's out. There, yes. And then all I need to do is get the actual original out. So I'm going to spread that apart, and I'm going to pick this out. There, wonderful. And if I zoom you in there, you can see, you can just about see all of the details there. So now I am going to make replicas of this out of ceramic resin and in different colors, and I may even make a second one of these for candles. Right, I'm back with these and this one, and I have measured out my powder, measured out my water. I have my little spatula and my whisk, so let's get going. And of course I am using the Magic Pour by Let's Resin. I'll leave the link with a 10% discount down in the description for you. Always good to save a little money. So I like to go in a little by little with my water. You've seen me do this lots of times before. I've got loads of videos out using this ceramic resin, and it is not the same as plaster of Paris or the plaster that you get for molding to create templates for ceramics. It's not the same at all. This has got some sort of substrate inside that really binds everything and makes it very strong. So if you're going to sell these or give them away, you want something that's going to last and be of good quality. So I don't suggest you make them out of plaster of Paris. I do get asked that question a lot, mostly in emails when people don't want to, when they don't want to show that they're not trying to buy the product, but rather ask me if there is an alternative. And I would rather be honest. If you use plaster of Paris, it will be more brittle. It isn't as strong, durable, and that's why I prefer to do this. So that's the consistency you want. And in my first example, I am going to do just white. So I'm going to pour this inside there. And as usual, I'm just going to tap it along the sides, make sure it gets into everything, and then fill it up. That's that one. And then for this one, I want to do a quick terrazzo. So I'm going to pour some of that in there with my terrazzo, yellow terrazzo this time. So I'm going to put in as much as I can, mix it around, and you can see it's almost gluey. It's not the same consistency as, you know, if you would use plaster of Paris. So again, I'm not sure what they put in, but all I know is that every brand that I've used is much better than just plaster of Paris. I like the Magic Cure, and I have used others. You can, again, look for my old videos, you'll see them. So again, I am going to first let this settle down like that. And I want as many of those terrazzo chips to fall to the bottom. So that's why I'm going to do it this way. Okay. And then I really wanted to try my new one out, so I'm just going to dye it with a tiny bit of yellow. I have some yellow pigment here on my stick, so I'm just going to swirl it around till I get a nice lemony colour. I don't want too bright of a yellow. This is just a bit of tempera paint. You can use mica powder. There, that's a nice match. So pull that in. Oh, great, I've got just enough for that. That's brilliant. I'm going to tap that, leave it over there a bit. And I'm going to use the rest with my spatula and just pour this on the top. There. Waste not, want not. And then I need 30 minutes to let this dry, and it's done. Righty, it's all done. So this is the terrazzo. You can see them there. I'm going to have to sand that down. And let's see for our new casting. Oh, look how perfect that is. It has literally picked up every single detail. I love it. Have a look at that. Gorgeous. So that's a success. And then let's see how this one's come out. Cute. Really cute. That makes a nice set. So you've seen me do this before. I'm going to take a little bit of water. I'm going to go down to my sink. I'm going to take maybe a 120 sandpaper block. And I'm going to bring out the terrazzo effect. And here it is, all done. I just love doing these. These are really fun. And again, if you want to see how I've made the chips, please check out one of my other videos. You'll see everything from the start to the finish on one of my ceramic resin videos. And I hope that you've enjoyed this one. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.